UFC 318. I'm not that sure that Dustin Poirier is going to retire. I'm just gonna say it. I've heard much. Get to it. We start off with Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen. Yeah, I think this... In a way, I feel like this is a pretty easy one. It should be a simple one to break down. It's sad to say. I don't hate Marvin Vettori. He seems like a cool guy. I mean, he's just dog shit at fighting. Horrible at fighting. I know he fought Adesanya for the belt. I know he was top 5. He beat Paulo Costa. He beat Jack Hermansson, which is an underrated win. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a Swede. But even for Marvin Vettori's horrible level, after 2 years off, when he returned in a rematch against Roman Dolidze, even for Vettori's standard, he looked really dog shit. And Roman Dolidze is terrible, especially in the stand-up. And he beat Vettori in the stand-up. Vettori is very basic, very easy to figure out. Very basic. Very basic. So I see it like this. Marvin Vettori is dog shit. Brendan Allen can be good. This is not what I'm gonna do for every fight. Brendan Allen is... dude, he went like a competitive 3-round fight with Imavov. Imavov, of course, took over the more the fight went on. But you know, Allen, did he take down Imavov? You know, competitive scrambles, grappling and everything. So if you can do that for 3 rounds with Imavov, you are at least good. Absolutely. And, you know, recently, in like a better middleweight division than what Vettori came up in. You know, he beat some solid guys. What was it? Bruno Silva, Andre Muniz, Chris Curtis, whatever you think about that. Vettori doesn't shoot much anymore. Mostly striking for Vettori, mostly like boxing and some kicks. Very basic. Brendan Allen will shoot. I don't know about... I think Vettori can neutralize the grappling, keep his standing. But in the standing, Brendan Allen, I think he's just smarter, more like a versatile in the strikes. Just a better striking fighter than Vettori. So, yeah, I'm going with I think it's a pretty safe pick, actually. Brendan Allen by unanimous decision. And Vettori's dog shit. Kyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira. I'm going with Oliveira. That's it. So, guys, we're entering the main card. Is it only me that... It makes no sense. Brendan Allen, Marvin Vettori is a grudge match. They have been like beefing for a year. Maybe 2, I don't know, a year. They were fighting at the casino. Some backstage stuff in the UFC. They hate each other. They want to beat each other up. It's a hyped fight. If you take away the big names, like it's a hyped fight for the hardcore fans. And they are not even the main event of the prelims, but Paulo Costa Kopilov is in the co-main, and Michael Johnson, who was a big deal 10 years ago, is main eventing against is opening the main card against Sel Huber. Michael Johnson is better, he's smarter, he's black. Against a Mexican. Based. So, yeah. Michael Johnson decision. Absolutely. Okay, guys. This is the tricky one. Dan Ige, Patricio Pitbull. Dan Ige is... You know, he's decent. He's a good... if you beat Dan Ige, you know... You're probably top 10 level in the featherweight division. Patricio Pitbull in his last fight against Jair looked... We're going back to the Vettori talk. He looked dog shit. I don't know what people was doing. Like, recently, if you're outside the UFC, you're dog shit. People come in, patchy mix, like... Let's hope Aaron Pico can do something because we need some new blood, Jesus. Yeah, is Pitbull just too old? I mean, if you look at Pitbull highlights, he was a beast in Bellator. If you watch the countdown, they hyped up Pitbull. You know, it didn't go his way the first time, but you know now you're gonna see the old Pitbull. He's gonna KO. He's gonna be the first one to KO Ige. At least Pitbull said that. But they are like Vettori, who can't finish anybody. He said that he was gonna knock out Brendan Allen. Yeah, good luck. Like they say it every time, so that doesn't mean that much. No, I'm gonna go with Patricio Pitbull. I was about to say that Ige is a big step down from Yair. Actually, I don't know about that. I wouldn't be that surprised to say Ige beat Yair. I don't rate Yair much. Having like that old man bitch Pitbull in front of you and hurting him and everything, that Yair couldn't finish him, put him out of his misery. Yeah, sorry Yair, I don't know what you were doing. And now you want the title shot. Jesus Christ, by beating an unranked. I think Pitbull... I just have a hard time seeing Pitbull come in. Like, will he go on a 5-fight... Okay, not 5-fight. Like a 3-4 fight losing streak and then just retire? I don't know. Listen, we know that fighters can have off days. Stuff can happen in camp. He could have a big injury. Some personal stuff going on. I don't know. Is he the same Pitbull anymore? Probably not. Is it that dog shit that he looked against Yair? Probably not every time. I'm going with Pitbull. There's many similarities between Ige and Pitbull. We're coming in, the big boom boom shots. Both guys got like, you know, good grappling, defensive and whatever. Yeah, I think Pitbull could have a bit of the surprise element. Maybe I don't think Dan Ige and Extreme Couture and what is it, Eric Nixick and those guys, I don't think they are the guys to underestimate someone. But I would like after the last performance, I think Pitbull can go in here and if he's on, he can get like a competitive decision. Absolutely. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. So Kevin Holland fights on like not every pay-per-view, but like every other. What do you say? Yeah, you know what I mean. Jesus Christ. Good for Kevin Holland. And dude, I agree with what Kevin Holland has said before. First of all, I think fighter pay should be lowered as fuck. But Kevin Holland said, if you want more money, fight more. Fighters fight nowadays once, twice a year. And you show up to work twice a year. And you expect more money. Kevin Holland is being active. I know it's easier against lower level competition. And for Kevin Holland, he says that, you know, we all know that it's a cop-out and everything. Of course, he wants to be champ. He says it's all about the money, but you get more money if you're the champ, you get pay-per-view points. So that doesn't make any sense. But, you know, he knows he's not good enough, so he just wanna, I'm not trying. But I don't dislike or hate Kevin Holland as much right now. Wait, isn't he on a 2-fight win streak? For the first time in 10 years. He beat Gunnar Nelson and Vicente Luque, of course. Submission, yeah. Yeah, good win. I know it's probably not the same Luque, but good win. Big mouth, Kevin Holland, another black guy. Yeah, going back to the Kyler Phillips fight. I mean, Daniel Rodriguez is dog shit. I'm not just saying that about every fighter now. Like, we have a lot of fighters in the UFC that's just not... Daniel Rodriguez is dog shit. Like, what the fuck has he ever done? Okay, you beat Kevin Lee. Whoa, who hasn't? Yeah, I'm going Kevin Holland by finish. 100%. Question is, will he submit or... Yeah, dude, he probably TKOs Daniel Rodriguez in first, second round. Paulo Costa, Secret Use versus Roman Kopylov. This is what I mean, that the card is dog shit. And not even the fighters right now. The card, like, this is the co-main event. Maybe I didn't say that. This is the co-main event of 318. A July pay-per-view. The summer July used to be, you know, International Fight Week time-ish. This is. Of course, this is the International Fight Week card. But like, this is the co-main. Building up now with a, you know, Pitbull fight, Kevin Holland. and now we get to Paulo Costa. Does it feel like, the card is now the main event? Like, what? If Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov, I would be fine. Second fight on the main card. Could be opening the main. A great fight, I would say. Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov to open up a main card. Maybe even fitting to what is main event of the prelims. Still, how is this higher up than Brendan Allen, Marvin Vettori? Maybe UFC can say that Paulo Costa has a big demographic in Brazil or anything, and maybe he'll bring in some extra viewers, who knows. And especially when Paulo Costa fights once a year, once every 2 years, whatever. I guess maybe he brings some attention, but I don't know about that. Yeah, the thing is, I'm maybe gonna surprise some people. I don't know who is the underdog or anything. I'm gonna go with Paulo Costa, absolutely. I don't rate Roman Kopylov. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he has beaten like anyone that is impressive. I know Paulo Costa doesn't have a single win over a fighter that currently is in the UFC, which is insane. But I just don't... Dude, a year ago, I know he fought Strickland. No, he didn't perform good. Strickland has a very specific style. He can really neutralize. Dude, he dominated Adesanya. Like, it's not a shame losing to Strickland for 5 rounds. But he stuck in there for 5 rounds. He didn't get finished in the second by pillow hand Strickland like Abus Magomedov, the German guy. So just before that, like 3 months before the Strickland fight, this is a year ago and a few months. Dude, he went 3 hard rounds with Robert Whittaker. Hit him with a spinning heel kick in the first round. Was this close to finishing Robert Whittaker in the first round. And then, Whittaker gritted down and did great to come back, win the second round, and take over and win the third. Great from Robert Whittaker. And Robert Whittaker is still, whatever people think, like him or not. I mean, how can you dislike Whittaker? Whether you like it or not, Whittaker is elite, still top level. Has like only lost to the best. Beat Adesanya in the rematch, whether you like it or not. So, with Paulo Costa looking like, you can argue. I mean, honestly, the performance against... You could argue that's like one of the best, maybe the best version of Paulo Costa we've seen ever. Against Robert Whittaker. Because this wasn't... Of course, he has beat the shit out of Johnny Hendricks in 2017. Back then, he just went in bulldoze, some body shots, bam, bam, reckless and everything. And against Romero, just swing, they just like retards. But against Robert Whittaker, and more technical, Costa looked great against Whittaker. He lost. But, I think if Paulo Costa comes in like the old Paulo Costa, or if the Paulo Costa from last year, or even like 70-60% of the guy we saw against Whittaker, he could, like in worst case, like a close split decision win, or maybe even a finish, maybe the first Paulo Costa finish. Oh my god, if Paulo Costa finishes Roman Kopylov, this would be the first Paulo Costa finish since he finished Uriah Hall in 2018. I'm pretty sure about that. Holy... Dude, that's 3 years before Strickland beat Hall. It's insane. Paulo Costa. The main event, the card maybe is dog shit, but not the main event. Max Holloway vs Dustin Poirier for the BMF title. The third time around, the trilogy. Who wins and why? Will Dustin Poirier retire? Will Max retire? Probably not. Actually, looking at the picture, this is sick. Is this one of the... Yeah, this looks sick. We got Max Holloway from... Or did he have those pants when he fought Ilya? No? Whatever, I think this is the Max Holloway 300 pick. And Dustin Poirier from his last fight, right? I think. Yeah, against Islam. Because he had normal black shorts against Benoit Saint-Denis, right? Yeah, this looks sick. Yeah, dude, I have been back and forth with this pick, Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. You know, my instinct, what my gut says, that if it isn't against like Islam Makhachev, it feels like you should always go with Poirier. Like if you look at his track record, you know, Gaethje, Pettis, Alvarez, Max twice. He beat Dan Hooker. He beat Conor McGregor back to back twice. You know, was very close to beat. You know, Oliveira hurt him bad. I think Dustin, if you go back to that fight and does something differently, you know, just, you know, when he hurt Oliveira, just, if you remember, like the Ilia Topuria finishing that bitch, what is it, Ryan Hall, you know that, I know you can have a dangerous grappler that like lays on his back in his guard, but like, not that you should jump into his guard and just like go crazy and that can get the triangle, not that. But like, try to stand up and still, you know, I don't know where, you know, look like you're backing away or something, but you know, from the side, like Ilya did or whatever, like bam, a big shot, and, you know, try to get, you know, from different angles, and yeah, but because things, as soon as you hit some big shots, Oliveira can't just like get you up and boom, 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 submit you. Like, yeah, I think Dustin could have done more. Of course, Oliveira cheated, like grabbed his glove or whatever, and Dustin had to like spin out of it, and I believe Oliveira just jumped on him and got like a dominant position for the rest of the second round, I believe. But this isn't Oliveira Dustin 2 or Max Oliveira 2. Something we don't know that we will probably find out in this fight, because Dustin hits hard and he's a great boxer, and he will find Max chin again and again. Is Max chin the same? Is it, you know, we have seen before with Chuck Liddell and other fighters, you know, you have a granite chin, but when it's cracked, when you get knocked out, it's not the same. So we don't know. Like, dude, I can see Dustin, you know, in the like early, maybe second round or something. Who knows? Crack Max good. Maybe he's able to finish him. Max, you know, maybe won't be able to take the the damage the same. And I know this isn't at 145. This is at 155. Of course, he looked great against Gaethje. The best performances, like fucking amazing against Gaethje. Oh my god, moving up, such a dangerous opponent as Gaethje. But the thing is, this isn't 145, so he doesn't have to cut probably the same amount of weight. I mean, he's probably tried to put on some weight as he did for the Gaethje fight, but probably not as much to cut. But still, you're moving up to 155 again. Dustin is a bigger guy. Okay, this is probably not maybe a good example, because Ilya hits so fucking hard and he's so explosive, so fast. And Dustin, as I said before, my gut says to just go with Dustin. He wins like all the time. You know, we counted him out. You know, he beat Chandler, he beat BSD. He has beaten so many guys. And I think he lost to Gaethje, but I think in that fight, like, Dustin beats Gaethje many times in the rematch. Gaethje had a game plan, set up the head kick, if it was the game plan. But you know, Dustin, the thing is, the problem is, Max has looked, I know people say that Max prime was like back in 2016, 17, 18, 19. It just wasn't. Max has looked amazing. People need to get, just because he loses to Volk doesn't mean his prime is over. Losing doesn't mean your prime is over, and winning doesn't mean you are in your prime. You have to look at, you know, how the fighter looks. How does he move? Is he faster? Is he more technical? Is he more slick? Is he more well-rounded? Is a striker turning into, you know, more takedowns, or is a wrestler like with Usman? Is a wrestler getting, oh, now he gets knockouts out of nowhere? He's getting better striking, better jab and everything. So the thing is, yeah, Max he looked of course, it didn't go his way against Volk in the trilogy. But you know, a dangerous up-and-comer, one of the best featherweights in the world, I would say. Arnold Allen is very good. He beat Evloev. They robbed him. He went 5 hard rounds with Max. Max beat him. You know, knocked out Zombie out of nowhere. Went up to lightweight, knocked out Justin Gaethje after schooling him for the majority of the 4 rounds leading up. You know, did decent against Ilya and everything. So there is a chance, and I'm afraid of this for Dustin, that Max has, you know, been improving and looked better and probably is in his prime for the last few fights. And at the same time, Dustin maybe has slowed down. His grappling has never looked as good as it did against Islam. And this is the weird thing, but his stand-up, his boxing, I thought looked so much worse than it has done in like every other fight. We have to take in that the grappling and everything, you know, makes you tired. You know, you aren't as explosive as You get tired, your arms get burned out, and I believe even Dustin said himself in the interview with Megan O'Leary, yeah, when you're fighting someone like Islam, you can't just. He didn't have it hit in him to just you know, go. Dustin style against Chandler up against the cage or whatever. And I just rewatched the fight like yesterday or whatever. And you saw Dustin, you know, he throw a shot and then boom down. He 1-2, boom down. So he had a very, you know, strike, boom. And you know, good because, and I think that's the problem. It's like Corey Sandhagen against Umar. He focused so much probably in camp on the grappling. And he did amazing in the grappling against Umar. Defended so much. Umar never got like a good position. Corey like every time got up or scrambled out of it. But then when he stood in front of Umar wasn't even a big striking threat. But I think Corey was so focused on defending the takedowns, and I don't know what happened in his brain, because the more the fight went on, he just stopped throwing fights. So even that Umar didn't look something special on the feet, he just tapped him with some leg kicks. And if he throws shots and Corey blocks most, it's still more than Corey is doing, because he's just moving around, thinking about the wrestling. And, you know, that's why many people think Islam is so good in the kickboxing and everything, because he looks much better when everyone is like afraid or thinking about his takedowns and grappling. So that's what I'm thinking about. If that's the case, Dustin is maybe regressing a bit in the boxing, and Max has been looking his best. The thing is, I'm gonna get to my prediction here. I have a really bad feeling, Han Solo. I have a really bad feeling that Max will finish Dustin, and just he will be a bit faster. You know, much volume, all the time. Maybe he can get something going like he did against Gaethje, like with a jumping, spinning body kick or whatever. I can see that, but I also at the same time feel like Dustin, you know, still not focusing on having to defend at all, looks shredded, says that everything's going great. I can also now, when I'm thinking about see Dustin coming in and looking like one of the best performances he has had. We can think about this. Have Dustin regressed a bit, getting older? Is his, you know, boxing and everything going a bit down as he's getting older? And is Max in his prime here still, looking great against Gaethje and everything? And you know, it's not that they let's say before it was I don't know if Dustin was here and Max was here, but you know, Dustin is going down a bit and Max is going up into his prime, and they meet here and Max just a little bit better. That's one part. The other part is Max not the same anymore? Especially now at 155 after getting knocked out. Will Dustin have a better chance? Did Dustin take away what Ilya did right and gonna implement it against Max? Dude, F it. I'm going with Dustin Poirier. I'm going with Dustin Poirier by dude, if he's good going for the kill, if he hurts Max, which he probably will, he will go after him. He's in like he's very close to home. This pay-per is for him. His family and everything will be there. He will go for the kill. Dustin finishes Max in will it be decision? It could be. Dustin Poirier finishes Max Holloway in round 4. By like, unloading against on Max against the cage. Drops him, maybe not out cold, but like TKOs him pretty bad. And and about the retirement stuff, you know, in every interview, I've said it before, Dustin never says anymore, this is promoted as his retirement fight. He has said before, you know, this is my retirement fight. But in every interview and everything, every clips I see right now, from the last few weeks, whatever, every time he's asked, like, you know, if you beat Max, if you feel good, the Ilya fight for the belt is right there, like, could you stay around? And I've never heard Dustin say, yeah, I'm retiring. You know, Dustin, he talks around it, you know. He says it's probably my last fight, or he starts saying, you know, I don't know if I have it in me anymore to, you know, I feel better than ever, I still feel like I'm the best, but I don't know if I have it in me anymore to you know, win a few fights and get to another title shot. Dude, if you beat Max, you're right there. But he talks around it, and he said, yeah, I'm probably retired, this is probably my last one. Yeah, you know, this is the... So, we will see. Maybe a surprising more... I mean, his wife will probably, like, stab him in the cage if he doesn't retire. So, yeah. El Diamante, let's go, Dustin. Guys, thank you so much for watching. My latest video right here. Playlist right here. Peace out.